Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we are talking about the new Immortal rating system introduced by IK, and honestly, it's confusing. Some Immortals make sense, other really don't. In this video, I'll break down why this system exists and where it actually helps, and why I think it can be misleading, especially for newer players. And I'll also be going through the ratings of the most used Immortals and randomly check others to see if their rating truly matched their performance or not. So with that being said, let's get into it. So let's take a look at all the Chaos Immortals. All the Chaos Immortals do have S+ tier, which is understandable. They are pay to win, they're really strong. In my opinion, some of them should or could probably be an S tier, but it is what it is, right? S+ tier for all the Chaos Immortals, and then we do have some S tier for all or almost all Holy and Shadow Immortals, especially the most useful one, which I agree with. But for example, like Kublai Khan, right? He's very good at one thing, and I feel like he should have been A tier or A+ tier. Same thing with Manco, same thing with Nebuchadnezzar. Probably should have been A+ tier or an A tier, because you rarely see any of them in the PvP nowadays, and the only time you probably see them is from the earlier seasons, and that's the reason why I wouldn't put them as S tier. Theodora, S tier, I agree with that. And then we had Julius Caesar at B tier, which I don't really understand, should have been A tier. Gilgamesh should be A tier, which is also good. And then we have Shadow Immortals, which is Bjorn, S tier. I do agree with that. Himigo, also agree with that. Tutankhamun, in my opinion, can be both A+ tier and S tier, but I wouldn't, complain too much because he is really strong at what he does, but he become a little bit lackluster in PvP, especially with the current meta, and that's why I probably would have put him A+ tier. So there's my opinion about that. And then we have Elizabeth, should probably be an A tier. Tomiris should probably be an A tier. Siegfried should probably be A tier, closer to B in my opinion, unless they make an adjustment for him in the future. And then we do have Elemental Immortals, especially Kin Emperor, an A tier. I believe he should have been at least an A+ tier, because he is very versatile. A lot of people are using him. He's very good high energy regen, and I believe that he is very OP support, arguably one of the best free-to-play support we have into the game. And then Matilda, A+ tier, which doesn't make sense to me because you rarely see her in the PvP, and she's very good at one thing, and that is being a support in the PvE content against bosses, spiders, and that's pretty much it. And in my opinion, should have been A tier. And then Baldwin, I think Baldwin is fair in terms of like how valuable the mage is, but how usable is Baldwin? I think A tier would have fit him a little bit better, but A+ tier is pretty good, and I think you're quite generous with the rating for him, in my opinion. And then Saladin, I think when I saw this, I felt very disrespected towards Saladin, because I know he's struggling to be played with, like it's not that good at the moment, but B tier, I think he should be at least an A tier. So yeah, that's my opinion about it. And Toyotomi should be a B tier. He's unplayable except for open arena, but in normal PvP he is not playable at all. Same thing with Atalanta. A+ tier is very generous. I think she should have been a high B+ or a low A tier in my opinion, because she's very niche immortal and she's very good at one thing and pretty much only one thing. So that's my opinion about it. And then we have Lightning Genghis Khan. I think this is fair, A+ tier. I might even think he should be an S tier, but it is what it is, right? I don't know if any of the Elemental Immortals or the kind of like Lightning, Fire, Earth can be an S tier at all. So they're probably going to be like A+ tier as the highest. So Genghis Khan, I think I agree with that. El Cid, I don't really agree with that. It should be an A tier or a high B plus tier because he's very niche, but he's very good at what he does in the game. And then Louis as well, very confusing why he is A plus tier. I think he should have been A tier. And then we have Isengi. I think that's fine. I think this is also fine for Hammurabi. Tokugawa, I think that's fine. I think Witches is fine. This one I don't really understand why he's B tier. I think he should be an A tier because he is way better than some of these immortals that in B tier, right? He's too good for that. Darius A tier, I would say is okay as well. I don't mind if he goes to B tier, but A tier is also very good. Cao Cao, I think it's very interesting. I'm not fully tested him yet, but A plus tier might be a little too high, at least minimum A tier, but I will have to come back again and rate him again when I tested him properly. And then let's take a look at some of the Earth team right here quickly. Yusenshin A plus tier should be an S tier in my opinion. Same with Alex, should be an S tier. Leonidas, fair. Arash, fair. Cleopatra, okay. Zenobia, yeah, quite fair. Pakal, okay, I guess. Mehmed, I think he should be in a B tier because since the start of the game, there's only a handful of times I've seen him in the PvP, and yeah, and whenever I see him, he doesn't perform the way I wanted him to perform. Charles, A plus tier, fair. He's very strong from early game, mid game, until legendary season. Although he might, fall through during the conquest, but in my opinion, an A tier or A plus tier is also very nice. Water team, Yoshi, he's very good at what he does, but B tier is fine as well. We have Ragnar, A tier, decent, and I think that's okay for Ragnar. He's not something special, he's just a support for Merlin. Attila should be an A tier in my opinion. It's not something that belongs in A plus tier. And Artemisia, A tier is okay, but we are quite generous here. Same thing with Harold, B, fine, fair play to that. And then we have Margaret, A plus tier. This one I'm a little bit confused because if she can be A plus tier, why is not Merlin an A plus tier, right? And I feel like Merlin should have been A plus compared to Margaret, but I might be mistaken. I haven't fully tested Margaret like maxed out yet, but we will see. And then we have Dido, which is B tier, okay, alright, not too bad. And then we have Ramses, which is A plus tier, which doesn't make sense either because Ramses, in my opinion, should be a high B plus or A plus or A tier, right? At max A tier, not A plus because he's not that good. And then we have Hippolyta at A tier, which also is crazy to me, should be an A plus tier. Empress Wu should be A plus, A tier, around that area, which is fine with A plus as well. Trajan, A tier, which is fine. Frederick, fair again. Cyrus should be A tier or B tier. I think that's fine as well. And then Seondok, I don't think she is a plus tier. I think she is better as an A tier, like a very low rating A tier. But yeah, A plus is too high for her. William B tier, which is fine. Ashoka B tier, which is also fine. And yeah, that's pretty much it for all the ratings, for all the immortals we have in the game, and my opinion about it. Do you guys agree with my kind of like rating on these immortals without having to go through all the explanation too much? But from my experience and from when I fought with them and against them, I got to see how they work, their composition to relate to today's meta. I think some of them are good ratings, some of them are really, really bad rating. But that's my opinion about it, and that's pretty much it for this video. Thanks you guys for watching, and see you guys in the next video.